Going on a bit of a road trip here. Maybe you've noticed that something has been going down in Atlantic Canada recently. It's kind of like Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds, except for the birds are currently being played by neotropic migrants in the end of October. You get these posts saying things like, today was nothing short of amazing. We had 22 species of warblers, we had summer tanagers, and yellow-billed cuckoos and all sorts of craziness. So even though I don't live there and I'm not really all that keen on the weather, I don't really pay attention, I thought, you know what, maybe I should do what I do. I'll look back at the weather over the last few days and see if we can piece together what exactly brought these birds. So the epicenter is sort of up here in southern Nova Scotia. And normally this would be a lot of guesswork, but in this particular case, I think there's one bit of information that really kind of adds to this. It's kind of invaluable information that without it, you wouldn't really be able to draw anything sort of concrete in terms of conclusions. But as Dave Bell, who posted the earlier one, said, after the rain abated somewhat, so this is 5:30 p.m. on October 26th, he said we had at least 6 indigo buntings and 3 red-eyed vireos around the cabins. He kind of knew it was going down, so he says, wake up tomorrow and we'll see what happens. And then he posts at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, says, hooded warbler, white-eyed vireo, yellow-throated vireos, yada yada, go birding, it's amazing, the fallout has happened. So without that information, I don't think we would really be able to say a whole lot, particularly if we go back in time. So that was the 26th to the 27th. If I go back to the 25th, I see a whole lot of southerly, sort of southeasterly air almost, from the Caribbean flowing up to Nova Scotia. Wisdom with the air coming in that direction tells me that for some reason they got pulled north because of this weather. Why would they fly north in warm weather? We don't know. It's likely, we can't really say for sure. But with Dave's information where he says the birds showed up after the rain, so the rain hasn't even really started yet in this image. This low sort of starts to bomb out right over where they are. And if you go right to Dave's time, so this is 3:30 in the afternoon, the next map is 6 p.m., 5 p.m., right around when he said the rain stopped and we suddenly saw birds. That's exactly right around this map. And you can see it's a totally different air mass. It's not the warm north side that Newfoundland is currently experiencing. It's the cold air mass on the backside of this low pressure system. And because this low is starting to go a little bit cyclonic, you would actually have sort of air coming out of the northwest, west, and pulling in out of the southwest and going right into Nova Scotia. So if you follow this air mass and assume that it's actually the cold front northwest winds that brought the birds, you follow it back over, back in time a couple of days, you can see that the air mass actually originates down where all these species are expected at this time of year. So you can get white-eyed vireos and yellow-throated warblers, northern Florida, Georgia, South Carolina this time of year. And if you follow it north, the low gets pulled north. I assume these things got blown offshore by this high pressure system, and then potentially they just follow the tailwind. As some birds are known to do, the tailwind and cold air should lead them south. In this case, because of this perfect storm setup, the air actually would sort of pull them offshore, and if they either get lost or just decide to go with the flow because they realize they're out over the ocean, ground zero becomes right where all these birds are occurring in southern Nova Scotia, Grand Manan. So anyways, I don't know if this is known. Maybe people who live there know this is the setup, and this is no surprise whatsoever, but I thought it was interesting, especially paired with that bit of information. No doubt about it, they're seeing all sorts of crazy things. Be curious to hear what people think about this video, if you agree or disagree or don't care, whatever, let me know.